Imagine a young man walking long roads, but carrying within himself a weight even greater than his own baggage. His steps are slow, not because of the rocks in the path, but because his mind is constantly filled with thoughts that never stop. He relives scenes from the past he cannot change, projects fears about a future that hasn't even arrived, and in the present, he feels trapped in a storm of anxiety. It's as if every minute is suffocated by doubts, insecurities, and the inability to simply rest in peace. Perhaps you know this feeling. Maybe you've tried to sleep, and even though you were tired, your head wouldn't stop. Or maybe you've wanted to smile, but your mind insisted on remembering your worries. It's like carrying an invisible burden, unseen by anyone, but which steals the lightness of every moment. This young man, tired of living trapped in a whirlwind of thoughts, decided to seek answers. He had heard of a wise man who lived in a distant village, someone who had once helped many people find inner peace. With hope, he set out on a journey, believing that perhaps there he could finally discover how to calm his mind. But could a single conversation, a simple piece of advice, really transform the life of someone lost in thought and dominated by anxiety? After many days of walking, his body weary and his mind even more exhausted, the young man finally reached the small village hidden among green hills and profound silence. The place seemed suspended in time, as if the rhythm of the world were different there. The simple houses were surrounded by trees, birds flew slowly overhead, and there was an air of peace that contrasted with the whirlwind he carried within. It was in this setting that he heard once again about the wise old man who lived by the main road. Curiosity mixed with hope made his heart race. Can this man really help me? He wondered as he walked. As he approached, he saw a small house covered in plants, with a modest porch where the wise man sat. The old man's eyes were closed, yet they conveyed a profound calm. His breathing was even, and the young man had the impression that this man carried within him an unshakable peace, something he had never experienced before. With hesitant steps, the traveler approached. His heart was pounding, as if at any moment it might burst with anxiety, but his voice came out in a pain-filled whisper. "Grandfather, my mind finds no rest. I can't stop thinking. My thoughts haunt me and steal my peace. Tell me, is there a way to silence all this? Is there a way to free myself from this invisible weight that holds me down?" The wise man slowly opened his eyes, and instead of answering immediately, smiled with a serenity that disarmed any resistance. There was a silence so profound in the air that it seemed to contain an answer within itself. And then, with the calm of one who knows secrets forgotten by time, the old man stood and invited the young man to follow him, promising a simple piece of advice that could change everything he believed about anxiety, the mind, and peace. Interior. The wise man walked slowly to a small courtyard beside the house. The young man followed him silently, still gripped by the relentless anxiety. There was a wooden bench, some simple flowers, and on a table, a clear glass. The old man filled the glass to the brim with water, so precisely that it seemed impossible to add another drop. Then he handed the glass to the traveler and said calmly, "I want you to go to the village gate and come back, but on one condition. Do not spill a single drop of this water." The young man looked up in surprise. He expected to hear a philosophical explanation, perhaps a long lesson on the mind and anxiety. But instead, he was given a task as simple as it was strange. Still, he decided to obey. He held the cup with both hands, fixed his eyes on the surface of the water, and began walking. The path was narrow, filled with people passing by, voices calling, children playing, dogs barking. Everything around him seemed to be trying to catch his attention, but he couldn't look away. With each step, his breathing adjusted, his focus narrowed, and the world around him faded away. He no longer thought about the past, no longer worried about the future. There was only the glass, the water, and the challenge of not letting anything slip away. When he finally returned home, clutching the intact glass tightly, his eyes shone with pride and surprise. He had succeeded. But what did that really mean? What did that simple challenge have to do with his agitated mind and his search for inner peace? The serene sage prepared to reveal the true secret hidden behind that seemingly holy. The young man placed the full glass on the table and took a deep breath, as if he had just won an invisible battle. His eyes showed relief, but also doubt. The wise man watched in silence for a few moments, until finally he asked, "As you walked, did you see the children? No playing in the street? Did you hear the dogs barking? Did you notice the voices around you?" The young man, confused, replied, "No, master. I didn't notice any of that. My attention was only on the glass of water. I couldn't be distracted." The old man then smiled calmly and said, "And that's exactly the secret. When your mind is fully in the present, when you put all your energy into something that's before you now, there's no room for fear of the future or the weight of the past. Anxiety feeds on thoughts that wander to times that don't exist. But when you live in the moment, the noise disappears, and the peace that has always been within you emerges." This revelation is transformative, so enjoy this video and subscribe to the Secret of Life channel to receive more stories that strengthen your mind and bring peace to your heart. The traveler remained silent before the wise man's words. It was as if each sentence had opened a window within him, revealing a horizon he had never seen before. For the first time in a long time, the storm of thoughts no longer dominated his mind. There was no fear of tomorrow, no regret for yesterday, only the clarity of being whole in the present. His previously restless heart beat with a calm rhythm, like a river finally finding its bed. As he walked back down the road, he realized the world around him remained the same. Children still played, dogs still barked, people still spoke loudly. But something inside him had changed forever. It wasn't the outside world that needed to be silenced. It was his own mind that needed to learn to rest in the present. Anxiety, which had once seemed an invincible enemy, now proved to be an illusion fueled by thoughts out of touch with time. The young man smiled, not because his problems had disappeared, but because he now had a key to facing them. With each step he felt lighter, more confident, and more aware that true peace is not far away. It has always been within him, just waiting to be awakened. Looking to the horizon, he understood that his journey didn't end there. Life would always bring new challenges, new doubts, and even new fears. But now he knew how to face them. And as he moved forward, the certainty grew within him. Peace is the greatest secret of life, and living in the present is the path that transforms any destiny. Now, to continue this journey of transformation, there's another story waiting for you. Just click on the video that's appearing on the screen.